Are you not able to file your tax return on time this year by April 15th? In this video, I'm going to go over how to file a tax extension, so stick around. Hi everyone, Steve Lee here with simpleetax. I'm a CPA based out of Chicago, Illinois, and if you're tuning in for the first time, this channel is all about taxes related to individuals and business owners. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, as you don't want to miss any of the great content I have lined up. It's tax time, and many of you already know that you're going to have to file an extension for your tax return. In this video, I'm going to go over what an extension is and how to file one correctly and efficiently. So let's get started. So what is a tax extension? Okay, and a tax extension basically gives you an additional 6 months of time to file your individual income tax return. Okay, we all know that the standard filing deadline is April 15th, and if you're to file an extension on time, you're given an additional 6 months, so your new filing deadline is October 15th. Okay. Please know that by filing an extension, it does not extend the due date of the taxes due. The taxes due is actually always going to be April 15th of every year for individual income tax filings, okay? So please don't forget to check out my previous video on all about tax penalties and interest for late filing and late payment of taxes. So how do I file an extension? There are basically two ways, either by paper or electronically. The first way is to fill out the form 4868. It's actually quite easy, so let's walk through it together. Alright, so let's get started and file an extension. So first you want to go to the irs.gov website. Okay, this is the official website of the IRS, and make sure it is the official website. So you'll see this on our screen, an official website of the United States government, irs.gov, and there's a nice little secure lock icon here. Next, we're going to look for the form 4868, and this is the extension form for individual income tax filings. And please don't mistake it with trying to file an extension for your business return, whether you're a C Corp, an S Corp, or a partnership. The 4868 is not what you fill out to file an extension of time for those business returns, but you're going to go over here and go to the form 7004. To file an extension for your business returns. So remember, the 4868 is only for individuals, the form 7004 is for businesses, and you have to file those separately if you are required to file a business return. Okay. For this video, we're filing just for individuals. So let's click there, and you want to go to the most current form, 4868. You click there, and the nice thing about the 4868, it's very short. It's a very easy form to fill out, and it accomplishes, they don't request a lot of information from you, just enough so that, it makes it, a fairly painless process. So let's walk through how to fill this out. So in box 1, you're going to be filling out your name. Okay. If you're filing a joint return, you're going to file both. You're going to include both your name and your spouse's name on this line. So in our example, we're going to be filing a joint return. So we have John Doe and Jane Doe, and then they live at their mailing address, Chicago Avenue, City of Chicago. Okay. Then we're going to input John Doe's Social Security number and his spouse Jane's Social Security number. And we're almost halfway done there. Next, part 2 is where you can either fill it out or you don't have to fill it out. But let's just fill it out just for the sake of our example. Line 4 is where you input, what is your best estimate for your total tax liability of 2019. And for this example, let's say they owe $20,000. How much did they already pay in 2019 worth of tax payments? This could be quarterlies that they paid. This could be, W-2 withholdings. What are the total 2019 payments that they've made? Let's say they've already paid in $10,000 for the year. We know that now the balance due, 20 minus 10 is $10,000. Okay, that's how much they estimate they're going to be owing on April 15th. Okay. So when you file an extension, you have two options. You can either file the extension with a payment or without a payment. And remember, going back to my previous video, even though you file a extension, which gives you 6 additional months to file your tax return, the extension itself doesn't extend the time for which you have to actually pay the tax. The actual tax has to be paid by April 15th every year. And if you don't pay by April 15th, 100% of the tax is due. You're going to owe interest on there and potentially a late payment penalty. So what you want to do here is, if you have the cash flow and you are filing an extension, you want to pay as much of, in this example, the $10,000 as possible. For the sake of our example, let's say John and Jane only have about half of that, so they're going to submit a $5,000 extension payment along with their extension. So what they are estimating is that they're going to owe additional $5,000, when they file their tax return. That number might actually go up or down based on the accuracy of this estimate here on line 4. Okay, once they do that, they have two options to submit the actual payment of $5,000 along with their extension. They can either make a payment electronically, and this is where you go to the irs.gov payments website. Okay, and let's just take a quick look at that website. So just go back to the irs.gov website, and then you're going to click here, make a payment. Okay, once you click on make a payment, you're going to have several options here. You can do you can pay by a direct transfer from your checking account, or you can pay by debit card or credit card. Okay, so you choose. So if you click on one of them, you'll take a notice that it's going to kind of walk you through here. They're going to send you an email notification with a confirmation number. This confirmation number is very important, so keep that in a secure place if you submit your payment electronically. Because even here on the form 4868, you'll see that they want you to write down your confirmation number here and keep it for your records in a safe place, just in case the IRS loses that payment, right, or they're not able to find it in their system. This confirmation number that they send you is going to be vital, okay? Because the IRS is a very big organization, and people do make mistakes, and systems do fail. So you're going to need that confirmation number. So keep that in a safe place. So you click on make a payment, and the reason for the payment, you want to select extension. So this fourth option here, extension, you're going to click on that. And see, it populates the 4868, right? And this is for the 1040, and it's for the 2019 tax year. So once you hit continue here, it's going to ask you a little bit of information just to verify your identity. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have your prior year 1040 on hand. So it's going to ask you what year or which tax return you're going to use for verification. Let's say we're going to use 2018. You're going to fill in the filing status. In our example, it's John and Jane Doe, married filing joint return. Okay, you're going to fill in John Doe. We're going to go with his social security number again here. We're going to have to verify it again. Okay, we want to make sure you get it right. Absolutely. This is a mistake, Doe. And then put in the social security number again. And then you're going to fill in, when is his birthday. Say 1985. And then the country of residence, and you're going to fill this all out. Then once you fill all that out, you're going to hit continue, and it's going to take you to a place where you could actually select the form of payment, right? You're going to put in your bank account information, your extension payment, and that's how you finalize that. Let's say you don't want to go the electronic route, you want to mail in actually your payment, your extension payment. that's where you can either pay either by money order or by check. Okay, and when you do pay by money order or check, you want to make sure that you're addressing the pay to the United States Treasury. Okay, that's right here. The United States Treasury is who you're going to be paying to. It's not the IRS, it's not Uncle Sam, it's the United States Treasury. Remember, don't send cash. It says it right here very clearly, do not send cash. Okay. Also, if you do end up sending a money order or a check, make sure you also include your social security number, your daytime phone number, and this little memo here, 2019 Form 4868. This is vital because mistakes do happen, like we said. Just like the confirmation number, you're going to need that. Let's say the IRS loses your check or misplaces your check along with the extension form we just filled out up here. Then they're going to want to know who this money order or check relates to. Okay, so that's where you're going to have to put in your social security number and the 2019 Form 4868. Okay, those are vital pieces of information the IRS is going to need to match, basically, who sent in this check and for what reason. Okay. And the last thing they say here is don't staple or attach your payment to the actual Form 4868. So keep them separate, do not staple them. Okay. And then the last step is basically, where do we send the 4868 along with the payment? Okay. Where you're going to send it to is based on two factors. The first factor is where you live, okay, where you claim residency. So in our case here, John and Jane Doe, they live in Illinois. So they're going to either send it to this address here or this address here, okay? And the reason why there's two addresses is because one address is if you're filing an extension and submitting an extension payment. In our example, John and Jane Doe are going to be submitting a $5,000 extension payment. So they're going to send it to, they're going to mail it to the Internal Revenue Service, and then P.O. Box 802503, Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, this is where they're going to mail it to because they are Illinois residents and they're sending an extension, they're making an extension payment with their extension. Okay. Let's say John and Jane aren't submitting an extension payment, then they're going to send it to this address. Make sure it's addressed to Department of Treasury, IRS Service Center, and they're going to be sending it to Fresno, California, the city of Fresno, California, 938888. Okay, so basically, where you claim residency is where you find that line. If you're submitting a payment, you submit it to the address in this column, this middle column here. Make sure you're addressing it to the Internal Revenue Service. If you're not submitting an extension payment, make sure you send it to this address here on the far right column. Mail to the Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service, and then find the appropriate address. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So as you can see, filling out the Form 4868 is not very painful. It's fairly quick. You have two methods to actually make an extension payment if you're going to. Remember, it's not necessary, but it's definitely advised so that you pay less in interest and a late penalty. And then just make sure you send it to the right address, because no matter where you live, you have two options. The address, whether you're submitting a payment or whether you're not submitting a payment. And that's it. The second way is to be able to file your extension electronically. In my opinion, it's the best and most efficient way to file an extension. So let's walk through that together. All right, so this is the second way to file an extension. In my opinion, it's the faster and the best way to do it. And that's the way to do that is just to actually submit an electronic extension payment. And the way that we do that is we go back to the irs.gov website, and we go back to make a payment, and then you can choose either using a bank account, a debit card, or a credit card. In our example here, we're going to use bank account because when you choose debit card or credit card, they actually charge interest and a service charge, so we want to avoid that. So we're going to use a checking account for our extension payment. So Once you get to this site, you want to go to make a payment. And then the reason why we're here is we want to make a payment in relates to our extension, right? Because we're trying to file an extension for 2019. And once you hit extension, you'll notice that everything pre-populates. 4868, that's the form, and then it's for the 2019 tax period. Hit continue. And on this page, they're going to ask you to verify your identity. And all this is really basically, which tax return are you going to use to verify your identity? Let's say 2018. So once you have that, you're going to make sure you have your 2018 tax return handy. Okay, this is your 1040 tax return, your individual return. And the reason why you're going to need that is you're going to have to fill in what you file, your filing status, your name, your last name. Let's say you got married, you were single, in 2018, but you got married in 2019. You still want to make sure that the filing status is based on, that you choose here, is based on your 2018 return. Your first name, last name, you confirm your last name, and then you also put in your social security number, confirm the social security number, your date of birth, year, and then the street address. Remember, the street address is not your current address, but it's the street address that you filed your 2018 tax return in this example here. Okay, let's say you use your 2015 tax return, that you're going to use the street address that you used for your 2015 tax return. Okay. So once you put that in, you click accept and you hit continue. And the next screen is basically inputting how much you're going to be submitting as a extension payment. In our example with John and Jane Doe, we said we're going to be paying about $5,000. So here we have that. We have the date here of the payment. You enter in your routing number, your account number, confirm, choose the account type, and then you input the email address in which you want that confirmation sent to. Remember, this is vital because you want to make sure you get confirmation for the payment, just so that if the IRS ever does lose it within their system, you have the confirmation to reference back to make sure they give you credit for the payment that you're about to make. So once you input that, you read this little disclosure here, you hit continue, and that's it. So pretty quick and painless, and in my opinion, the best way to file an extension. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and to share this video with anybody you know who won't be able to file their tax return on time this year. Thanks again, and good luck this tax season.